Hammers, build your body and your bank. Check out how to earn 10K per month plus with my business intelligence, finance technology, consultant training accelerator program. Link in the description. Hey, Hassan here. All right, welcome back, Hammers. It's time for a workout. What we are doing is I'm documenting my journey of putting on 50 pounds of muscle naturally. Now, the question is it possible to put on 50 pounds of muscle naturally? And this channel is the answer to that question. And I think, yes, absolutely 100% you can do it. If you click on my YouTube channel and then you click on my user profile, you'll see in my channel banner when I was 130 pounds. I was actually 127 and now I'm 173. So I've already put on 40 pounds of muscle using the techniques I'm about to describe to you. So it is definitely possible, but I see online that people really just resort to TRT or P and so on. I don't think that's necessary. Of course, if you want to do that, that's your choice. From what I notice, the gains come fast, but there's side effects and you can lose them fast as well. Or you can take a bit more time and build it up and not lose them and be dependent on things like cycles and all of that. So it is definitely possible. Now I'm just gonna give like a 1-minute summary of how to do that, how I did it. Basically, the first year I started with just cardio. I was doing high intensity interval training for 15 minutes a day. And I did that because without some sort of exercise, I just didn't feel mentally sharp. And with high intensity interval training, I had that razor sharp focus that just feels so good. Now, after a year of doing that, I wanted to change it up a bit. So I started doing hypertrophy specific training geared to increasing muscle mass specifically. And I really took to it. It bit me like a bug. I got obsessed with it a little bit. And lo and behold, I went from 130 pounds to 170. I'm probably around 10%, maybe 9% body fat right now. So I would say there's a process to it. If you follow the process, it's actually not that difficult. And basically, the process is 2 parts. And I'm going to say both of the parts are equally important. Okay, so the first part is, the way I did it, is I would drink 3 protein shakes a day, each with a scoop of creatine, very important, 15 grams of creatine per day, and each with a scoop of oatmeal, a third of banana, and a bit of chocolate milk and water. So I've been having those for, I don't know, 2-3 years, every single day, 3 shakes a day. It may seem like overkill, but just have one with every meal. You really need the additional protein to increase protein synthesis so you can pack on muscle naturally. Now, the mechanism for muscle growth basically comes down to stimulating protein synthesis. There's multiple pathways to do that. Like, one is, using steroids or something. It directly increases protein synthesis artificially. The other is to just consume more protein. That also increases protein synthesis. And the third is to load the muscle with weight to the point of failure and have the muscle experience time under tension. That also increases protein synthesis. So at the end of the day, what you're trying to do is just increase protein synthesis. And basically, because we are natural athletes, or I think you are anyways if you're watching this channel, you want to maximize every opportunity possible. And that's why I do the 3 protein shakes a day. Okay, so that's number 1. Okay, and the other part of the equation that's also number 1, both of these 2 things are number 1. People say diet is 70% and then training is 30. No, I don't think so. Training is 110% and then the protein is also 110%. You got to get both of them together before any sort of magic like putting on 50 pounds of muscle naturally will happen. Now, if you do it, then it's pretty easy. I don't count calories or anything like that. So that's one side. The other side is what I call intensity-based training. Okay, so it's different than pure progressive overload, which often powerlifters go for 5 reps, increasing their weight by just 1 rep at a time. That doesn't give you enough time under tension to stimulate maximum hypertrophy. So you actually need a mixture of time under tension, which is a lot of repetitions, not a lot, but I would say between the 10 to 30 rep range. And then you need progressive overload as well. So combining those 2 things is how I did it. Now, when I say intensity-based training, what I mean is supersets. Almost every exercise I'm supersetting with something. Usually it's with partial reps, or with rest pauses, or with drop sets, and so on. But what you want to do is, basically as a natural athlete, the whole name of the game is intensity-based training. As natural athletes, the only thing we have to rely on is the intensity of the workout. We literally have nothing else. So one thing you don't want to do is just work out in the 6 rep range. You don't get enough time where your muscle is experiencing stress, time under tension. So the best way from a lot of experimentation that I've found that works well is you use supersets. You use a heavy weight to do about 8 to 12 reps, and when you fail, you knock down the amount of weight you're doing by a significant margin, and then you do another go at failure. So what you're doing is you're working that groove right at failure. You're keeping the muscle right at failure. So I either do this with drop sets, with rest pauses, or with partial reps. But if you combine those two things together, the protein and the high intensity method of training, you will definitely get results. So that's the purpose of this channel, is to document that. I've already put on 40 pounds of muscle, and then I thought maybe I would document it because I think it's needed. I think a lot of people just go with the wrong route when really they just didn't know how to work out properly. So that is the reason behind this method. I'm getting distracted because there's a lot of construction over here. And other than that, that will basically cover what the method is. Okay, so that covers basic mechanism is of how to put on 50 pounds of muscle naturally. Next, I'm going to demonstrate my work. I'm going to go in there. I'm actually going to do an arm workout today, which is biceps, triceps, and shoulders. And we're going to go ham, we're going to go to failure, we're going to do supersets, we're going to do drop sets, and I will see you guys inside in about 5 minutes. All right, time to start. So I just did 5 minutes of stair climber, and that gets the core body temperature up, which is important. Sometimes I do 10 minutes. And the next part of my warm up, I like to do pull-ups. I do maximum reps of pull-ups, and then I superset it with partials. One set. It's arm day, but that's how I like to do it because pull-ups are the king of exercises amongst a few others, squats and all of that. But I do like to do pull-ups. That's how I can do so many now because I've been doing this for years. Well, like 2.5, 3 years of consistent pull-ups. So, all right, let's get it. The dead hang is very important because the stretch is the most anabolic part. Rest pause. And then partials. All right, that's failure. This is the pump from the one set of pull-ups. It's pretty good. That's why I like doing it, because in just one exercise you get a near maximum pump. I mean, I'm definitely a little smaller because I'm working out with 2 days break instead of 1 day break like I used to, but I do like these pull-ups. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do accessories, which is calves. I do need to try to grow those, so that is next. All right, so time for the accessory lift. I added this about 2.5 years into the workout journey, so pretty recently, but they've shown significant progress. Okay, so for this, what I like to do is do the ignition set first, which is a pre-exhaustion. I got that technique from Negs, and basically you use a medium to light weight, and you do high quality reps for about 15 to 20 reps, and that pre-exhausts the muscle, or it wakes up the muscle nicely so that the working set is more effective. And this ignition set plus working set philosophy I quite like, and I often use it, especially for accessory muscles. Okay, I think I'm at 4. So here I really make sure I'm going maximum stretch, and you'll know you're at the maximum stretch when just the stretch makes the calves hurt. Like right there, I feel the pain. So that really is the best part of the exercise for hypertrophy. So you definitely do not want to miss those. And if you're doing partials, the partials are always done at the stretchiest part of the muscle, hence the name lengthened partial reps. So yeah, get to the max stretch position, full range of motion when you do it. You're almost at failure. And you want to make sure your knees are locked, not bent at all. Otherwise, it transfers the load from the gastrocnemius to the soleus. So instead of the muscle, the bubble-like muscle on the back, it transfers the load to the muscle underneath. So you don't want to bend your knees at all for this. Okay, they're failed. Now I'm going to do some partials. These little partials are like really effective once you're at exhaustion. Okay, so that's the ignition set. All right, working set. Now my progressive overlog notes say 120 pounds, but I think that was at the other gym, so it probably won't. As in, I don't think I'll be able to lift it. But okay, so this machine is stuck. All right, there we go. Okay, so the plan here is to do like 3-4 reps, knock down the weight, do 3-4 more. Yeah, I usually do 70 pounds on this machine, not 120. My notes were for another machine, so I'll just do 2 reps. Okay. So I'm going to fix my notes, but I'm going to 70 pounds. Okay, so they're at failure. I'm going to try to squeeze out another slow rep. Often at failure, if I do the rep super slow motion, I can get... Okay, it's not going to happen. Okay, now partials. A full stretch. Okay, so what I do here is I need a rest pause. So what I do here is I go 70 pounds, 60 pounds, 50 pounds, 40 pounds, 30 pounds, 20 pounds, run down the rack, and that's my working set. So each has a partial. When they fail, I take a rest pause. Rest pause is one of the most amazing intensity-based techniques for hypertrophy-specific training that I've ever come across. So if you're near failure and you take like 5 to 10 second break and then you go at it again near failure, usually only the last couple of reps are effective, but after a rest pause, every single rep is effective. So rest pause is always a good idea to superset with. Okay, they're at failure. I kind of had a big meal before coming here. I wanted to have energy, but because massive meal, a bunch of pasta. So once I push myself on the pull-ups, I definitely feel the meal a bit. Okay, these failed partials. Just these 2 sets are really effective, I have to say, because usually when I do them, I feel it for at least a couple of days after. My calves are out of proportion compared to my quads, so it would be nice to get them to catch up to my quads. You know you're near failure when you have to really slow down the rep. Partials. I would say I feel the burning here the most, which is pretty interesting, but it's very intense. The burning's about a 9. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit more rest pause. probably stretch out the calves a bit. Alright, this will be the last working set. And then we'll start the arms, which is side lateral supersets, then crossbody cable side lateral one set, then triceps, and then biceps, and we're done. Okay, that was only a partial rep, but the next one I think I can get the full one. Okay, that's hard. Okay, I'm gonna just do partials. Okay, that's 10 partials. Do a couple more. Okay, by now these calves are fully on fire, even though it's just 2 working sets, so that's super good. All right, shoulders. So I like to do side laterals. And the first set is an ignition set, 20 pounds, 20 reps, nice and clean, nice and controlled. Not after failure, just getting it primed. All right, that feels pretty good. All right, first working set, 30 pounds, 16 reps, then 16 half reps, and then 20 pounds, same thing. So a superset with partial reps on each level of the superset. Now, I have been struggling with these for the past 3 workouts. My reduced workout schedule means my shoulders are not as strong as when I work out every other day, but basically the strategy is to use rest pause to get the number of reps needed. So let's go for it. Partials. All right, now I am doing the drop set from 30 pounds to 20 pounds. That went better than the last time I did it. Okay, I am gonna rest pause these. Because the shoulders are at failure. But I want clean reps, so that's 5. I have 11 more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, that's 16. Partials. Okay, that's 1 working set. How do the shoulders feel? They pretty much feel like someone took a torch to them and lit them up. So you can see why supersets, partial reps are very effective, because It works that groove near failure. Okay, one more working set like this, and then we'll move on. All right, set number 2, working set number 2. And now I'm starting to feel pretty good. My shoulders have a nice pump to it. I did some pull-ups, I worked on my calves, so my body is nice and activated. And you know, I have to say, even though I'm working out 1 day on, 2 days off, pretty good, you know, like fully natural, 1 hour every 3rd day. So this stuff really works, and it's not super hard. You just got to get the technique right. Now I am looking forward to going back to my normal routine once every other day. I'll do that after I make more progress on my personal project, because I'm engaged about 80 hours a week on that right now. So I'm looking forward to going back to my normal routine, but for now, we'll do this. Okay, I'm gonna take a rest pause. That was 8 reps. Not too long. Partials. So pretty much you have to push when it counts. If you do that, that's how this works. Supersets, drop set, push when it counts. You can work out every other day or every second day if you want. You'll still pack on muscle naturally. Granted, you're using partial reps, drop sets, supersets, and all that, but it comes down to how hard you push. You have to push to failure. Okay, so this is the last portion of this exercise, set number 2, level 2 of the drop set, 20-pound side laterals. I'm also going to do these with rest pauses. The shoulders are at failure, so I'll catch my breath, let the lactic acid build up from the side of the delts, disappear by about 20%, shoulders feel fresh, and then continue. Okay. All right. All right, they're at their limit. Now partials. I know you probably don't see people do this at the gym, but you got to use your instincts. When I superset these and do these partials, my shoulders are on fire. So of course it would work. Okay. From here, I like to do these cross-body side laterals. So I'm going to go and jump straight into that, superset it. All right, so for these ones, 10 pounds. It's not a lot of weight. So actually what I want to do is I want to make sure I get the stretch right there is maximum stretch. And the tension is pulling that way, unlike free weights, which would pull straight down. And then I just want to get some clean reps and max stretch. And that's why I'm rotating my body for that stretch. I'm trying to physically feel for maximum stretch. All right, that's failure. Partials. I go buck on these because I'm only doing 1 set, so I go ham on the partials. That's 15. That's 20. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that hits the shoulders well. Okay. It's 15 pounds, by the way, not 10. But left arm, same thing, 1 set. Cross body side laterals. crossbody cable side laterals. And yeah, I made these up. You can make up exercises, why not? Part of the fun, just experiment and see if it works. The whole thing with this is the twist, and then it puts the maximum stretch. I look in the mirror to see if I'm getting the stretch or not. Okay, I think I can get one more if I do a rest pause. All right, maybe not. Okay, partials. All right, that's 12. 20. They probably don't look like much. It does the small movement, but they really burn. Okay, triceps. All right, so time for triceps. 30 pounds, 20 reps, ignition set. I actually usually end up failing on these as well, but the aim is to prime the muscle to get it to be ready for the next set. Same principles apply. I want full range of motion for the maximum stretch. Now, full range of motion doesn't always give you maximum stretch. Usually on the pushing exercises, it's full range of motion for maximum stretch. On pulling motions, actually, at the end of the movement, like seated cable row, at the end of the movement's the full stretch. But wherever the full stretch is, you want to make sure you go there. So I do my rest pauses on these by transferring the load to my lats. If you notice they're flared a bit, that takes the edge off the triceps. That allows me to get some more reps. All right, superset time. All right, so this is the first working set, second set after the ignition set, but first working set. It is a superset. It's 50 pounds, and then I drop set it to 30. Okay, I'm gonna take a rest pause because I barely got that one. Those ones that seem like they're gonna fail, if you just do them slow motion, just go after them 1 centimeter at a time, you can get them. Like this, watch. You just have to relax and do it 1 centimeter at a time. All right, partials. Ooh. All right, I cannot do partials. So the issue is I just worked out shoulders, so even doing the rest pause causes the shoulders to burn. All right, moving on. Drop set. All right, they're done. That's failure. Okay, next is tricep press down. All right, tricep push down. So usually I can do a lot of weight on these, so I quite like this exercise. I can usually move almost the whole stack. So I do enjoy doing this one. Now, I do want to approach it with some caution, meaning I want to take a moment to get in the zone, which I'll cut out. Essentially, I want to go beast mode for this and see how many I can get. So that's the plan. And it's a multi-level drop set, meaning I just knock it down one level at a time until I run out of the stack. All right, let me get 3. It's not a lot, so I'll take a rest pause, try to go for a couple. Okay, so looks like that is all that is going to give me. I want to go down level. We are at 82.5 pounds now. And this run down the rack technique pretty much keeps you right at failure. So it is highly effective. Cheat it a bit at the end, put my body weight in it. Okay, that was 77. Now it's 71. Takes a little while, but it's highly effective. I need to work out abs. I haven't done it in a while. I'm getting paranoid I'm going to injure my lower back unless I do it a little bit. Okay, since I'm only getting about 2 to 3 reps, I'm going to knock it down by 2 levels. So that's going from 66 to 55 pounds now. And give it a rest pause. That should give me a couple more. The triceps are fully full of blood and they're fully a failure. Okay, it's probably a little bit of a rash here, and the reason for that is I've been sleeping under my computer desk. As ridiculous as that sounds, I need to work a lot, so what I do is when I'm done working at 7 a.m. I just lay down on the carpet and sleep right there, so I get up, take a cold shower, and go back at it. That's how I'm doing 80 hours a week. Sounds ridiculous, I know, but I really want to get my training academy correct. It's my masterpiece project, so that is why, if you notice a little rash, there's just carpet irritation. $38.5 pounds now. Partials. Take a rest pause. The triceps have an insane pump.
Yeah, I quite like this run down the rack. So you pre-exhaust it first, then you do a superset, and then you do a run down the rack. And the triceps just get the craziest pump. In my head, I'll also call it throwing the kitchen sink at it. Because essentially I'm doing drop sets, partial reps, whatever the tricep lets me do after or at the point of failure, I'll just throw at it until I run out of the weight. Okay, that feels pretty easy now to 27.5 pounds. Even the just 5-second rest pause is enough to let it recover to the point where the lactic acid doesn't, I don't really feel it in the beginning, but now it's near maximum again. Okay, I want to pause there on the triceps. It's 1:10, 10 a.m. I want to do biceps, do a pose check, pump check, and get out of here. So let's go do some biceps. Check out this pump. My triceps literally feel like they're gonna rip. Feels really good. Okay, let's go do bicep arms. All right, time for biceps. Barbell curl, 80 pounds, 10 reps, 6 half reps, superset with partials. Let's go. That takes some effort, but it's very productive. I only do 2 sets for this. Both are supersets. The second one is a drop set and supersetted with partials, but that's all I do for arms, and they grew pretty big. I started at, I think, like 13, and now they're at like a little bit over 16. So yeah, pretty good exercise. All right, last exercise. I'm definitely feeling the effect of the workout. Gonna have to put, I need 6 plus 7, 5 plus 5. 6 full reps, 7 half reps, 5 full reps, 5 half reps. 80 pounds, 60 pounds. Last working set. All right, I got 8. Sweet. Definitely felt like I had some extra. But that being said, I didn't exactly count my rest period there. Counted in my head, so now I'm thinking maybe I rested too long. But regardless, I got 8 reps instead of 6, which is nice. All right, they're at failure, and my grip is failing. I need 1 more rep. All right, now I need 5 half reps. Or partial reps, not halves. All right, sweet. That took some effort. but pretty good pump. Okay, let's go check out the pump. Let's start with a vacuum. Let's do a back double bicep. Let's do a front double bicep with okay. Let's do rear lat spread. All right, let's do most muscular. This one gets me lightheaded. Almost to the point of fainting, but let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm seeing stars. I'm gonna try it one more time. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he does that. He does that one really well. All right, I'm out of poses, so okay, let's do front ab. Side chest. Maybe I'll step on stage one day. Should have done it when I was like 19, but maybe I'll do it now. All right. What else? Check out the tricep pump. Front relax. Okay, let me see if I can think of anything else. I'm going to conclude it there. So this is exactly what I've been doing. That's how I put on 50 pounds of muscle. Nothing crazy. Nothing people can't do at home. So, you know, if you want to, if that's what interests you, then that's how I did it. Not that hard. Just, you got to push yourself. Push yourself till failure, and then push yourself again on the drop set. Just in case you didn't push yourself till failure, the drop set will definitely get you there. But thanks for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.
Hey, are you interested in project management consulting? Check out my blog where you can get a free roadmap on how to earn $10,000 per month or more in BI-FinTech consulting. That's business intelligence, finance technology consulting. Pretty much that's a fancy way of saying project management consulting in software data projects. This is my core expertise. I studied aerospace engineering, then pivoted, then became a professional project manager and cloud solutions architect. I can teach you how to do this. If you're looking to supercharge your career, be sure to check out my blog and roadmap. Totally for free, link in the description.